Thank you, Professor Zamboni, for that generous introduction. The leadership of AFRIPAL, our distinguished guests from many countries, ladies and gentlemen. It is with great honor that I take this opportunity to say a few words to you on the opening and inaugural African Regional Conference on Parliament and Legislation, AFRIPAL, here in Kampala, Uganda. Allow me to begin by extending a warm welcome to each and every one of you, legislators, scholars, policy practitioners, and researchers. Thank you, Mr. Munyangabo. Thank you. Many of you who have traveled from near and far to join us in what is truly a historic moment. This gathering is more than a conference. It is the birth of a bold new continental platform that bridges two worlds, parliamentary practice and academic thought and leadership. What is the rationale of AFRIPAL? AFRIPAL convening was conceived out of the compelling need to connect parliaments with research and lived realities. While commendable progress has been made in opening up parliamentary processes to citizens, a gap remains one that demands more international collaboration between lawmakers, scholars, researchers, and the civil society actors. AFRIPAL was created to close this gap. At the core of AFRIPAL is a vision that parliaments in Africa can be both relevant and transformational, not only in legislation, but in shaping inclusive policies that respond to the real needs of the African communities. Through this initiative, we seek to encourage dialogue that is done in plain language, that is inclusive, and that it is focused on solutions. And this will help us navigate the pressing challenges that confront the African legislators today. The theme of this inaugural conference, Parliaments in Africa, Opportunities and Prospects for Sustainable Development, could not be more timely. The success of Africa's development aspirations, including Agenda 2063 and Sustainable Development Goals, will largely depend on the quality of governance and legislation that our parliaments enact. Legislators are not only custodians of lawmaking, but also architects of national development and national development frameworks. Through inclusive policies, oversight, budgeting, and legal reforms, parliaments have a unique mandate to anchor development in justice, equity, and accountability. However, this responsibility must be matched with strategic partnerships, empirical evidence, and willingness to innovate. This is where AFRIPAL enters the picture, bringing together scholars, scholarships, and also bring together practice to create new pathways for legislative reform that speak to Africa's social and economic realities. The role of African Association of Legislation, AAL. It is with great pride that we also announce the African Association of Legislation, a key institution that will be hosted by AFRIPAL. The AAL is an association of current and former legislators, parliamentary researchers, legislative drafters, policy professionals, and development thinkers who are united by a shared commitment to legislative excellence and innovation across the continent. AAL seeks to be a beacon of transformative legislative practice, championing inclusive laws, promoting evidence-based parliamentary reforms, and empowering parliaments to respond to the lived experience of the African people. Together, AFRIPAL and AAL will act as a catalyst for legislative change, policy influence, and democratic deepening across the continent of Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, as we gather over these 3 days, I urge us to fully embrace the opportunity before us. Let us reflect critically on the role of parliaments in navigating emerging issues like climate change, youth unemployment, gender justice, digital rights, and democratic backsliding. 2.